Well, here's my weekly update here from Westminster on what's been happening in the constituency, what's going to be happening in the constituency and here in Parliament. It's been a very legislative heavy week here in Parliament. We've been voting, trying to vote down the government's anti-strike legislation. As I'm recording this, we're just about to vote on the Lord's amendments to the EU retained law bill, which is the way the government is trying to get rid of EU law, the stuff that's necessary and unnecessary. It's obviously all driven by ideology, so we're voting on those things soon. And the big news here in a Scottish context at Westminster this week is the potential by-election in Rutherglen and Hamilton West. The report into the 30-day suspension of their current MP Margaret Ferrier for breaching COVID rules. It goes to the House this week. If that is successful, there will be a recall petition, and if 10% of the voters in that constituency vote to recall Margaret Ferrier, there will be a by-election in the next few months. In the constituency, last week I was at the Scottish Retail Consortium chatting to them about what a future UK Labour government would mean for Scottish retail. I was then at the Edinburgh Futures Institute being shown around the old Royal Infirmary building where actually I was born in Simpsons, and many constituents will have been there either visiting relatives or being a patient themselves. What a fascinating thing they're doing there at the Futures Institute. It will be open to the public in September and March next year, fully open to the public, so please go down there and have a look. It's a fantastically restored building. Stuff that's going on last week as well. Just before my supermarket surgeries on Saturday, I went to the Women Life Freedom exhibition at Summer Hall, which is a celebration of Iranian women who live here and their experiences of when they lived back in Iran. It closes on the 25th, so if you're just watching this now you might have missed it, but it's a fantastic thing if you've got time to go along and see it. And we've got the reopening of Warrender Baths on next week. Hurrah! And there'll be a street party in the morning on Sunday if you want to get along there and celebrate the reopening of the baths with the local community there. There'll be lots of stuff for kids and families to do. And maybe a quiet week on Facebook or a quiet weekend on my social media, because I'm getting married on Saturday. So I better go and do that rather than doing things in the constituency, because otherwise I'll be in a lot of trouble. So see you next week.